my first race for 2021. If I do the Azores, I will not do CIM. I will do the... So much to say in the studio. When do I not have a lot to say, communicate with all of you in the studio? So here we go, we're diving right in. This morning's run, I got going about 5:30 a.m. The first time I've had to use a headlamp in a long time because the sun is rising later in the morning. So 20 miles, 5,500 feet of vertical gain. I'll get to the shoes here in a second, and craziness. I need to keep doing better and better at communicating with all of you, how my legs are feeling, how the training is going. So today is the first run since my fall on Quandary Peak. I think I fell on August 17th, about 6 days before the Pikes Peak Marathon. 0 on the pain scale for my knee. Unbelievable. It was crazy. Like I was just waiting for it to start hurting, and it never started hurting. So unbelievable. And yes, a shout out to Nick. Thank you, Nick, for saying hello up there. Nick and I have now met on the mountains. I think it was Mount Falcon earlier in the summer, and now up on Quandary as well. So thanks for saying hi, Nick. It's always fun to meet viewers of the vlog in person. You know what I mean? I love communicating on social media and communicating in the comments down below, but there's nothing like meeting folks in person out on the trails. All right, everyone. Oh yeah, real quick, you know I love a trail shoe when I take it over 100 miles. The Hoka EVO Speed Goat. We're definitely over 100 miles now. And now, somebody did ask though on Twitter, do I like the Torrent today? Do I like the Torrent 2 better or the EVO Speed Goat? And I think I did say the EVO Speed Goat by a hair, only because there's a little more cushion. The Torrent 2 is just a little bit lighter. I think it's like 0.1 ounces lighter, but I gotta say the cushion and the upper lockdown of the EVO Speed Goat it's special. And craziness, I'm actually out of new trail shoes to test that I'm excited to take to 50 miles. For example, people have been asking me about the Olympus 4, and this shoe is 11.1 ounces in my size. It's just too heavy. It's just too heavy. Now, I still need to get you my first impression of this shoe. It definitely will not go to 50 miles, but this would be the next trail shoe in the lineup to push to 50 miles. But I said to myself, yeah, gosh, I gotta take care of my legs. I gotta take care of my body. I'm gonna go lighter, and frankly, a softer ride, softer cushion, running 115 miles a week right now. The body is, barking at me a little bit. So that is why I opted for the EVO Speed Goat over the Olympus 4. So it's crazy. I'm out of trail shoes right now, which is it's actually a really nice feeling to have mentally, like we're caught up with respect to pushing shoes to 50 miles. Now let's dive into the focus for today's vlog. Again, I'm gonna try and be concise here because I can ramble sometimes. So here's the deal: CIM, World Mountain Running Championships, Golden Trail Series. Those are the 3 races left in my 2020 calendar racing year. But sometimes for me as a runner, I get locked into the calendar year mindset, January through December, 365 days of training. It's just easier for building training blocks. It's just easier for me mentally. And every Christmas, I always take at least 2 weeks completely off. No running, no weightlifting, just relaxing. Like a major reset for the body, and mentally as well. So, but 2020 has been such a strange year, as you all know, that I'm probably gonna make some edits right now for my racing schedule moving forward. So here's the deal: as I think I mentioned this 3 or 4 days ago, the World Mountain Running Championships in Spain has been canceled, okay? It's no longer happening. The Golden Trail Series in Portugal is still on, and then the California International Marathon is still on. I'll tell you right now, my priority race at this point is the Golden Trail Series. Why? I'm not holding my breath that CIM is gonna happen. I'm just not, okay? It's a big marathon with lots of participants in one area. It's just different than trail running. So I'm not holding my breath, and therefore I'm not gonna train for 3 months for a race that's not gonna happen. It's still on my radar, okay? So I guess here's the other option, is that if I don't get the FKT and Americans are not allowed to travel to Europe, then yes, and CIM does happen, then yes, I will do CIM, okay? Does that make sense? And of course, through the pandemic, we all are staying flexible. But as I think I mentioned this 5 days ago, is keeping our options open, okay? And not just for 2020, but also for 2021. I'm thinking optimistically. It might be too optimistic, but I am hoping that by March or April 2021, races around the world really start to return at least to some basic normalcy. It might not be completely normal, but they're actually happening, okay? And we'll get to the marathons here in a second. So that's my mindset. That's how I'm approaching. And so my tip of the day right now is the time to plan for the future, for March, for spring. And this is why I probably should have brought this topic up about a month ago. And I regret not doing that, but it's not too late. So spring 2021 racing, summer 2021 racing, and yes, I'm just going to say, even a year from now, for your bucket list races, your races that have been on your radar for a long time, I would say now is the time to start researching them and figuring out, like, are they potentially going to happen? Can you already register for them? What are the refund policies in case that has to happen? So anyway, that is my approach moving forward. And I got a little stuck in the mindset of going, just focusing maybe a little too much on 2020 because, I still have my goals. Run a marathon PR and run a half marathon PR. Those are still my goals, but I'm realizing, of course, that we're in a strange year. 2020 is just a strange year for everybody, and, a lot of things are just out of our control, okay? So here's the deal. Moving forward, I have decided, and here's the major changes for the racing for me moving forward. Some big announcements is that Azores is priority number 1, CIM would be priority number 2. But if I get the FKT, I go to the Azores, like Americans are allowed to travel to Europe, it is a 4-day race. It's a stage race. Not sure if you knew that. So here on your screen is the mileage and the vertical gain for each day. No messing around. Like, this is a pretty serious race over in Portugal. So what is going to happen after that race? I will be tired. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. I will be completely buttered. I know myself well enough that I will be, like, my legs will need a break. Know thyself. I'm always saying that here in the studio. Like, know thyself well, mentally and physically. After a summer of FKT work, the Pikes Peak Marathon, taking a little break after Pikes Peak, and then trying to get into the Azores. And then if I get there, and then boom, a 4-day stage race, done. Well done, in fact. So much to the point that if I do the Azores race, I will not be doing CIM. But again, vice versa, if I don't do the Azores and CIM happens, boom, CIM. Does that make sense? But here's the kicker. My potential first race for 2021, I have decided that if I do and this is all where, like, being flexible, preparing for the future, plotting your 2021 racing plan now is, I'm just going to say critical. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Think of all of the pent-up demand for racing that's about to hit us. Let's say the pandemic is under control in 2021. All of the racers that were unable to race in 2020 now want to race in 2020. So I think it's going to be extra difficult to register for races next year. That's my prediction. It might be a little optimistic, which means, again, we need to prepare now for the future. Does that make sense? So here's the deal. I want to run fast. And I believe that the reason I was able to PR my Pikes Peak ascent time by 3 minutes, just 2 weeks ago versus my 2019 time is, yes, I trained hard. I think I had a great summer of training in the mountains. But another reason is because of my road marathon turnover work from the last 365 days. Amsterdam, New York, training for Hamburg, the DGR virtual marathon, and then the half marathon time trial that I did here in Denver. All of those efforts, those I guess it was maybe 4 efforts, I believe reignited reignited my fast twitch muscles, but reignited a belief in myself that I can still be a fairly fast runner, okay? So even though I'm pursuing mountain running goals, I really am a big believer that if you want to keep that turnover going for mountain running, don't be afraid to run fast on the roads, which means my first race for 2021, if I do the Azores, I will not do CIM, I will do the Houston Half Marathon. Not the full marathon, okay? Why? Again, a couple of reasons, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling here a little bit, but bear with me. It's hard to train in Denver in December and January at a high level because of the weather conditions, whether it's snow, whether it's ice. Therefore, but I do believe I can get ready for a really fast half marathon. And yes, one of my goals from 2020 might have to be bumped to 2021, which is to run a PR half marathon time, okay? So that is my big announcement. January, I believe it's 21st. I'm already registered. I registered today. Houston Half Marathon. So it's preparing for the future. It's keeping my leg turnover up. And yes, okay, here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Question of the day. And I need your help here. 2 questions of the day. Number 1, have you already registered for races in 2021? If so, which ones? And why did you choose those? And are you excited? All right, tell us a good story. That's option 1. Option 2, I have dreams, yes, to race a marathon in Europe spring 2021. These are the 4 on my radar, okay? And here's the question of the day, part 2, which spring marathon in Europe should I do? I've got Krakow, I've got Rome, I've got Prague, and yes, again, Hamburg, okay? Those are the 4 on my radar right now. But I want to listen to you down in the comments. Right now, those 4 are happening, okay? But again, we don't know what the future holds. We all got to be flexible. That's the question of the day. I'm so excited to read your comments down below because this is the opportunity to ignite the fire for the future for all of us as we get through let's just say it, get through this year so that we can start afresh in 2021. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Keep your head up. Keep working. We're going to get through this pandemic, and we'll be back to the starting lines sooner rather than later. No crying in baseball. No crying and running. No crying and running. All right, we got this, everybody. We got this. All right, we're going to toss it to the running race playlist right there. Right there. Running race playlist. So all the running races. I think the last one, of course, is Pikes Peak. Right there, right there. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.